for bringing you the show in my own words. TDA Magazine, streaming this to you on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, go ahead right now, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Get your friends to subscribe so that way you can have all that you crave on Bama football. You can also give a like on the show, run those likes up, give us that thumbs up right there, making sure show your network, your plan, your platform, your channel to talk Bama football. Turn all of those notifications on. Hit that little bell so that way you can get all of your entertainment on your favorite program. As always, he's back by popular demand because you love him, Patrick. P-Money down in here. P-Money, happy good times to you, man.
Yeah, same to you, Steven. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. Got Patrick Zoud here on the show, joining us live on set here, and that kind of breaks us into people. Topic number one of the conversation, and spring practice coming up here, middle of March, between the second and the third week of March, and U.S. fans are excited about what could we see from spring ball and the different positional battles that are going to take place and who rises to the occasion, who takes the bull by the horns, as Coach Saban says, who becomes those starters at those various positions, who becomes those marquee contributors. Will there be a freshman? Could there be a young face that comes in and just really messes up the deck of cards and becomes a primetime, marquee player? All of these are questions that we have so much excitement and fun dissecting, diving into, and discovering when you look at spring football and the A-Day game coming up here on Saturday, April 16th at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And here at Touchdown Alabama, the staff here, we, in writing, have been putting together a series breaking down these different positional battles, who can win in these different spots, getting you guys prepared here for spring ball. And I figure let's bring the written material, the written content into the show and make these some show topics for you, the fans, to interact with, have questions about, make comments, have these conversations, this dialogue about these various positional battles, these various positional races here when you look at spring football. And the first one I want to get in here to, especially with the man Patrick P-Money out here, is the backup quarterback position. We all know what Bryce Young is. He is the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. He is the reigning winner for various individual awards. He is the reigning SEC champion. He is the single-season passing score record leader holder. This is an individual that we are excited to see the next step he takes in his growth, especially when it comes to him leading the Crimson Tide, or pushing to lead the Tide to the national championship stage and finishing the job this time around. And then, of course, him trying to put himself in a spot where he could be taken possibly number one overall in the 2023 NFL Draft. But our eyes always look toward who will be the number two guy, who will be the primary backup behind Bryce, and who will be that guy to have the ability to continue the effective play, continue the efficient play, continue the dominant play, and have that rapport with this group of wide receivers. And Pat, Alabama's got two quarterbacks, two talented guys that are fighting for this number two job behind Bryce Young. When you discuss Jalen Milroe, former four-star from Texas, who came in the 2021 class, dual threat quarterback, and Ty Simpson, the hotshot five-star from Tennessee by the way of Westview High School. He comes in as an early enrollee. Pat, how intriguing is this? You got two very talented guys fighting for a spot behind Bryce Young here.
Well, I think talking quarterbacks is always intriguing, and if recent Alabama history has proven anything, the backup quarterback's a pretty important spot for them. And, I think when these two guys, I think it's going to be pretty exciting to watch them in spring. I know that Ty Simpson enrolled early with the team, and I think it goes a long way and it shows a lot when a freshman quarterback has the opportunity to participate in the bowl practices. And that's exactly what he did. And, when you look at the two of them, they both kind of do the similar kinds of things. I think Ty Simpson is coming as a freshman a bit better of a passer than Milroe was when he came in, but Milroe has had a full year under the system now, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens during spring ball.
So take it right there, Pat, because you brought up a good point here. Milroe, a full year in the system. Milroe came in as sort of this workout weight room gym rat, this weight room warrior, and a guy that had that same type of ordeal as Jalen Hurts when he came in 2016, kind of that weight room squatting, bench press warrior. He was so strong, lower body. That's why he was such dangerous with his feet, dangerous with his legs, grew as a passer. But with Milroe, to me, he enters this spring with a lot to prove, because we know the attention that's on Bryce Young, and now here's Ty Simpson. You watch the tape and fans go, oh my word, I can't wait to see what this young man does on the field. So here's Milroe, kind of that middle child, if you will, the older child, the oldest. You know what to expect, you know what they're going to do, you know how they're going to be, the baby of the family. You got to grow with the baby and coddle the baby and learn with the baby. It's always that middle child kind of fighting for, hey, I'm right here too. So here's Jalen Milroe with a chip on his shoulder, but a whole bunch of talent. What specifically this spring, Pat, are you looking forward to seeing from him?
Well, I mean, going back to that point, I think it's a little bit, too, of the fans getting caught up in a little bit of the shiny new toy here with Ty Simpson coming in. I remember when Bryce Young came in.
Oh, yeah.
It was a similar situation. When's he going to play? When's he going to play? Is Ty Simpson going to be the second string? And then Mac Jones, in his case, was like, no, I'm still here. Now Jalen Milroe will probably be along the same lines of, no, this is my spot. I want to keep it. So, but going back to your question here, I think I want to see him develop even more along lines of a passer, because I think what he can do with his legs is already special in and of itself. Because when we had a few opportunities to see him scramble around on the field this year, and he is explosive when he gets out in the open field.
As big as he is, Pat, he can evade and elude tackles.
He glides around the field. He is a fast kid. So. I mean, that's just to see him develop more as a passer, more of a threat in that regard, I think will be important. But looking back at this past year, I know that I think it was early on before the season, we had asked Coach Saban about what his thoughts were about the battle between him and Jalen Milroe and Paul Tyson for the second string position. I mean, he was a little ho-hum about it, because I think it was a little bit closer than people realized. So I think Jalen Milroe, I mean, if he can show more, if he can show to be a more dynamic passer, I think he can lock up that spot.
Of course, Milroe this past season, Pat, he did complete 3 of 7 attempts, did have 41 passing yards, which included a 24-yard touchdown pass to Javon Baker against Southern Miss at Bryant-Denny. Of course, now Javon Baker is at Kentucky. But when you now look at Ty Simpson, and we've seen this before, as you talked about it. Jalen Hurts, when he came as a freshman in spring practice 2016, and people were like, whoa, look at this dude. And I remember leaving Bryant-Denny, and I was talking to our photographer, Cedric Mason, and said it was like, that Hurts kid, that's the starting quarterback. And we saw how that kind of came to fruition. Even in 2017, where Hurts was a sophomore and Tua Tagovailoa a freshman, that the aerial attack show those two put on, you left the stadium going, I like Jalen, but ooh, this Tua kid, if he ever gets on the field, this Tua kid could be something really nice, and we saw that also. So you look at Ty Simpson, he's kind of got a little bit of a wow factor here. I know a lot of people kind of compare him to a Johnny Manziel, a more refined Manziel, the way he's able to make those escape, scramble-like plays. I kind of see it more so as a Ty Detmer back at BYU, or as a scrambling Fran Tarkenton in the NFL with the Minnesota Vikings. But when you watch Ty, you really got to love the confidence and sort of that boldness he plays with.
I mean, yeah, bold is definitely a word I would use, because you can just throw on his highlights. And it is Manziel-esque the way he will scramble back and just keep the play alive, look downfield, and still find the open receiver, where I think Jalen Milroe will run forward. Ty Simpson will run around and throw a 60-yard touchdown. That's kind of the difference in play there. So, I mean, he is an electrifying player in and of himself. And, if he can bring some of that in when the few short months that he does have of experience leading into spring football, I mean, he can make this thing very interesting.
One thing here about Ty Simpson here, Pat, you can look at him, the 6'2", 195-pounder out of Westview High School in Tennessee. His senior year this past season, 2,827 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, just 3 picks.
Airing it out.
I mean, big time playmaking ability right there, passing the football, but running the ball last season. 862 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns. He ended his career with 61 total scores in the ground and in the air. So he can do a little bit of everything. The thing with him will be, how much of the playbook does he grab quickly? How much of that in spring does he take to really, really fast? Because Jalen Hurts took to it fast. Tua Tagovailoa took to it fast. So how quickly can Simpson grab the playbook and parlay that from mental with the playbook to on the field with it, even though spring ball kind of more so vanilla than most times in the football season, but how quickly can Ty grasp that playbook?
I mean, I think that was the sole reason why he arrived during the bowl practices, to just kind of get his reps, whatever he could, and just digest the playbook and try to get a hold of it as much as he could leading into spring practice. So it can be in this kind of position to potentially be the backup quarterback to Bryce Young. And that really is for the young players, the mental game of grasping the playbook. So if he can continue to just do that, I think he'll be put himself in a good position to compete.
When you look at this, folks, Alabama backup quarterback room here between Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. It is going to be fun to watch. We saw 2017 how fun it was to watch with Tua and Jalen. We saw in 2016 how fun it was to watch with Jalen and guys like Cooper Bateman, David Cornwell, Blake Barnett. Insane action that started off in spring football. But how will it go this time, where you know what you're getting in Bryce Young, you know what you see in him as the starting quarterback, but between a hotshot 4-star and Jalen Milroe and a hotshot 5-star and Ty Simpson, this is going to be fun, folks.